See that right there? It says Bruh Lant. That was the name of my first Animal Crossing New Horizons island. It has sadly been lost to time. The island no longer exists. Well, it exists only in the Nanoverse now. Sad stuff. Anyways, hello! It's me. Extra normally, but you can call me Alan.
Hi, I'm SpongeBob.
Today we are going to be talking about my first year as a self-taught artist. We are going to be going over the challenges that I faced, the techniques that I used, and where I am today, and I guess most importantly, where I am going to be going moving forward. So what exactly has been my background in art? Now in high school, I was very passionate about art. I was very interested in drawing and painting. I won second or third place in an art contest or two. So in high school, I could say that I was pretty into art, but something happened once I had graduated high school. When I had gotten into college, I had this, I guess you could say it was an epiphany, but it was just me telling myself that I needed to lock in. Now I went to college for English literature, which does not include drawing. I really put art away. I had shelved it for a very long time until I had graduated. Maybe a couple of times throughout college I drew a thing or two, but it was barely nothing, and I definitely was not learning anything. So why is it then that I decided to draw again? That's a very interesting question, and the answer to it is kind of cringy. It's kind of stupid. Okay, I started drawing again because I played this video game called The Last Guardian. After playing that game, I guess I had just this moment and I was so emotionally affected. I kind of just sat there and I said to myself, damn, that was amazing. If somebody could make something that was as beautiful as that, then why am I not capable of doing the same thing? I want to make art. I wanted to make something that would be able to emotionally affect somebody, anybody, myself included. And that's when I guess I really decided to start drawing again. Now, it was rough. It was very, very, very rough. I had no direction. I had no discipline. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a very crummy little sketchbook, which this right here is the sketchbook in mine. It's just a cheap little thing that I got from Walmart. And I will flash a couple of, I wouldn't even say pieces, just some sketches on the screen right now, just to sort of give you an idea of where I was pretty much about a year ago. And this is kind of just to prove that I was very rusty. I would need to develop a discipline or a dedication if I was ever going to dream of getting better. And for this first sketchbook especially, I didn't really have a routine. I would take week-long breaks, weeks, there may be like a month where I just wouldn't draw anything. I wouldn't even call it artist block. I guess I would just say that I didn't have that habit. I definitely would think about drawing, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, even though there were plenty of things that I had wanted to draw. But then after a little while, I really did some soul searching. You know, I did some, I was gonna say that I did ayahuasca with a shaman from the Amazon, but I don't think that's really cool to say. But you know, I did have some talks with myself. I guess my goal with this point was to develop a habit, right? To get into that routine of drawing every day. And during this period in time, I don't have the sketchbook with me right here, but I'll put some pictures of it right here. During this time, I was getting better and better and better about drawing more consistently. I definitely had a lot more volume in the things that I was drawing. The variety was different. I just started to discover the things that I liked to draw the most. Particularly, I adore drawing just like nature. I love drawing like grass and leaves, and especially like ruins, you know, just sort of like ancient ruins that are covered in vines. I also enjoy drawing people. I enjoy drawing different kinds of poses, stuff like that. But for this sketchbook, it was really that opportunity to build a momentum that would push me on further and further and further. Now, what was I able to accomplish in this sketchbook? Number one, I was actually able to finish a sketchbook. That's right. This is the first sketchbook I ever finished in my entire life. And I cannot tell you how proud I was of myself when I finally got to the end of this thing. But I didn't want to leave it there. If you can see in these pictures, there are little note cards that I put throughout all of it, and that was sort of me going back, looking at each page and sort of self-critiquing, not just like harsh things, but sort of just like, okay, the perspective on this is off, you need to work on that, this face looks weird. But I would also be sure to mark the things that I thought I did good in, you know, sort of just giving myself a pat on the back. And while I developed a pretty good habit of drawing at this point in time, there would be times where I took probably a week-long break. You know, I would go 5 to 7 days without drawing anything, and just the entire time I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I should be drawing right now. Why am I not drawing? And that would build and build and build until I just finally drew again. And I found what helped the most during this time, where I was just struggling with getting myself to draw, is that I would sit down and I would just pull up a reference on Pinterest or a picture of something in nature that I had taken, and I would just draw that. And I wouldn't strive for perfection. I would just do it. And that helped get a session started. Once I got that first drawing down, it got me motivated to do more and more and more. So by the end of that hour and a half long session, I had made a good amount of progress. I have drawn quite a bit. And during this time, I would say, is when I really honed in on trying to learn the fundamentals of art. I personally trying to get better at drawing, so I tried to get better at perspective. You know, I would study perspective. I got really observational, you know, whenever I'm out in public, just sort of trying to figure out perspective on certain things. I would really try and look at the proportions of things. And then you start to get into other aspects of fundamentals like lighting, shapes, forms, working in 3 dimensions. And after a couple of months, you could see some notable progress. And then after I was done with that first fully finished sketchbook, I actually went out and I got myself this tiny little portable sketchbook right here, which I just recently finished. I plan on making a video doing a sketchbook tour, but this is the second sketchbook that I ever finished. Why did I get a sketchbook that was smaller than my other one? Bigger is better, right? You have more paper to work with. The goal with this sketchbook was to bring it out with me more. I have tried to be more conscious about using my cell phone in public or just being on my phone in general, and I feel like this was the answer to that, and that it would also help me get better with drawing from observation. So having a smaller sketchbook that I could take out with me in public, I would be able to draw things that I saw more. In here, I use a lot of markers, a lot of watercolor markers. I'm drawing a lot of scenery, a lot of background type stuff. This was the sketchbook that really made me fall in love with drawing. I have been drawing this thing pretty much every single day. You know, even if it's just something small, I have been drawing in this thing every single day. So definitely getting yourself a smaller sketchbook that you can bring with you anywhere helps a tremendous amount. Now, while working on this most recent sketchbook, I have also purchased another sketchbook. My thinking is that I have the larger sketchbook that I can do really my practice. So that way in my smaller portable sketchbook, I can kind of focus on making things look a bit neater. I have been trying to build a confidence with what I've been drawing, but underlying all of this is a strict adherence to the fundamentals. I cannot stress that enough and how much that has helped. You can draw from life all that you want. It does not allow you to understand the underlying structure. So I think it's very important to study those sorts of things in order to get better over time, and maybe not just drawing what you see, but fully understanding what you see. It's also during these past 6 months or so that I have been reading more books about actual art techniques, right? Specifically comics, but you know, I'm very interested in like learning how to do perspective better, or how to frame a scene, how to make something look more cinematic, how to use lighting to your advantage. I have been, I guess, learning from the masters in that sort of way. And so yeah, that has been my journey. It sounds very weird to call it a journey. I can definitely see that I have improved quite a bit, but there is still a lot that I have yet to learn. I am so incredibly excited to keep moving forward, to keep pushing, to keep challenging myself, because the last thing I want to do is to be comfortable where I am. I always want to strive to improve. And so what are my goals for the future? Well, my last video that I published, you can see that I am starting work on a short comic. By short comic, I mean 30 to 40 pages. We're still working on that, obviously, but that's my goal for the immediate future. I want to be able to tell stories using my voice and my artistic abilities. And because of that, I need to get as good as I can possibly get. And to anybody who might be struggling with finding motivation, with not knowing where to begin, all I can say is that you are the only thing stopping yourself from achieving whatever it is that you want to do. And it's very hard to take accountability, and you're gonna have to face a lot of ugly truths about yourself, where your motivations lie, what you truly want. But if you truly are passionate about creating something, then nothing is stopping you from going out and doing that thing. You want to keep on pushing yourself to do better and better and better, and you are capable of that. Human beings are immensely capable of doing incredible things. I mean, look at skyscrapers. Skyscrapers are so tall. Look at that one hole that was dug in Russia. That's like a third of the way through the Earth's crust. People did that, right? So yeah, that has been a reflection on the past year of my life. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll leave a comment. This has been me. Goodbye.